Good morning. Today is, I think today is a Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, May 19th. We are going to be playing Book 1, Book 2, Book 3 today. Maybe squish in some time with the classical piece. And where you go to get the daily schedule and the sheet music is denverguitarorchestra.com. I'm going there right now. To post our link for today's excitement. Paste, shift, link, enter, edit, settings, open a new window, and update. And today, Segovia Patterns as always, and 3 by My, Skip to My Loo, and this little light of mine, which will give us some time to work through our classical song of the week again. So we'll be adding that on at the end of the course. The classical song we're working on this week is called Contentment. And when I first ran into it, I didn't like it, but I've come to accept it all except for a couple of notes I think are poor choices by the composer. But I don't get to choose that, right? Denver Guitar Orchestra. Composer chooses that, and then I decide, and then I have to live with it. DenverGuitarOrchestra.com, posting us on Twitter at the moment. Upload and upload guitar, Denver Guitar Orchestra, and tweet. All right, so there's that. We're on Twitter, yay, and we have the link posted on the website. And Skip to My Loo is one of the dumber songs in the book, Book 2, but it is a valuable piece of music in terms of what it teaches, so we'll get to that. And that's what I know. We'll be starting here in just a moment or two. We'll let everybody get logged in and sat down and get their guitars tuned up. The 3 Blind Mice is the end of Book 1, so a lot of people who are working through the Book 1 program, they'll be logging in just to listen, just to play that. It's a surprisingly challenging piece. And then Skip to My Loo, like I said, is definitely not top of the list of songs that I want to play, but it is a valuable piece of music. And then we have a brand new arrangement of This Little Light of Mine, built off of an arrangement I did earlier this year for ukulele. It's got a little bit of different tonality than you might expect, and so should be fun to try. I wrote it out last night and played it on my travel guitar, but I haven't put it on this guitar yet, so we'll see how it sounds. My gadget here that I use is putting up a fuss today. On a regular basis, it decides, no, I've had enough, and I don't want to cooperate. Let me put that to sleep. And let's see how else is going. Nancy made it in. She says the sound is good. And if Nancy says the sound is good, I'm ready to roll. So hi, Nancy. Good to see you. Nancy's a local here with me. And so let's go grab the Segovia Patterns, and let's play our morning scale to warm up. And I gotta go here, resources. No, I actually keep that over in the other folder, this folder, Segovia. All right, you try to be all organized in life, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, Segovia Patterns, measures 2 and 3. We've been playing those every morning for a while now, and hopefully starting to memorize the pattern that is in this piece of music. It's a kind of a unique scale in that it's a melodic minor, meaning that it's different on ascending than it is on descending. Oh, Elizabeth made it in. Sound is good. I'll be in and out with Teddy. He had his teeth cleaning. Oh, yeah, a couple removed. Yeah. Yeah, when those kitties go into the veterinarian, you're like, oh boy, how much is this going to be these days? Yeah, we got to get their teeth done. Nancy says, quick question. House of the Rising Sun is a 4-beat count, like I like bass 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6 beats. To me, it sounds like the Animals version of the song. Can 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 be like 1 beat? I'm going to go pull it up real quick. So we're talking about House of the Rising Sun. Nancy has a question on it. And so it's fine, Nancy. So House of the Rising Sun is a 4-beat count. It's actually a 3-beat count. So if I'm looking at the sheet music, you're in 3/4. Okay, so when you're in 3/4, you will be playing 3 beats per measure. So before we, don't dump into this, I'm just grabbing House of the Rising Sun, and watch what happens. I'm just going to give you 3 beats. 1, 2, 3. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. 2, 3, 1, 2. And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's in 3, and that so that's the first thing I have with your note, and it says I like the bass 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. So 3, 2, 1, 2, 3, 6 beats. So let me see if I understand your question. Am I thinking correctly that it's thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index? Now that is your 6 pattern, and that will work because you're in 3. There is a... Let's see, that's too slow. There is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. So I think what you're asking, Nancy, I hope that I've got the right idea. Chords are the chords, right? But what we're working on is thumb, index, middle, index. Thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index. So 6 fits. Yeah, it absolutely does. So so anytime you're in 3, you can also play in 6 or 9 or 12 or 15. You probably would never do that, but you could play in 3, 6. I have seen sometimes I've seen people do it in 12, like they're really doing this type of thing, but any multiple of 3 will actually work. And so if I'm again just thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, there is a house in New Orleans. They call the rising sun. So yeah, and in all cases on all of those chords on there, you can definitely have your thumb on the root note. So when you're playing the A minor chord, your thumb's on 5. When you're playing the C chord, your thumb starts on the 5th string. When you play the D chord, have your thumb start on the 4th string. When you play the F chord, have your thumb start on the 5th string or 6th string. A, C, E, A, C, D, F, A, E, A. Yeah, so it works, Nancy. Absolutely. Yeah. So the song's in a 3 count. Your fingers, thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index is a 6 count, and that'll work just fine. I think singing over the top of it takes a tiny bit of work because the melody notes on here are slightly oversimplified. There is a house in New Orleans. That's what's on the paper, but how you probably sing it is, there is a house in New Orleans, right? So you probably the half notes are going to go a little long and the quarter notes are going to be a little short. But yeah, absolutely, it'll work. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, ask me in a different way. Let's see if I can make some sense of it. Good. Hopefully that's helpful. Let's go grab Segovia. Whoops. I'm gonna leave House of the Rising Sun up in case you need to ask additional questions, follow-up questions. That's a fun piece of music, isn't it? All right, let's play the Segovia Patterns. And Nancy, if I did not answer the question, ask me in a different way, and let's see if we can't make sure that you get the info you need. Segovia Pattern from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Nancy says definitely answers the question. Good. Sometimes when I get a question, I'm like, oh boy, I hope I know the answer. All right, let's give it a try. Let's give the patterns one more shot through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whoops. 10. String. I've gotten myself all twisted around here. I kept trying to fix it as I went along and I kept blowing it. I want to start again from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what I meant to do. Yeah, that's the going up is starting to feel pretty comfy. Coming back down, still a little bit wonky. All right, there's Segovia. That gets you started. That gets your head. That helps bring you back to earth. About the minute you think, yeah, I'm a pretty good guitar player, you can do some scales, and then you're like, nah, I'm not that good. All right, 3 Blind Mice. Book 1. All right, three times through, we'll play the chords first, then we'll play the melody. Let's do it this way. I'll play the melody, you play the chords. Then you play the chords. I'll play the melody, then you play the chords. then you play the melody and I'll play the chords, and then we'll tough axe it to wrap it up. Okay, I'm going to start on melody. You should start on chords. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strum, strum, strum. Melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3. That's too slow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3. That's still too slow. Let me do it twice as fast. 1, 2, 3, 4. O to O, O to O, 3. I'm trying to be fancy with my right hand and it's blowing me up. You're on melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Okay, and then finally, sorry, I got it right eventually, didn't I? Let's play the tough axe. Remember, you're just going to hold plant, middle, and ring finger here. They're never going to move. Everything else is going to be happening with your pinky. Kind of hard to play. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a hard song to play. All right, there we go. 3 blind mice. Next up, let's get through Skip to My Loo. Skip to My Loo is, I think, my least favorite song in the book, but it teaches you 2 very, very important things that you're going to have to be able to do. And a lot of people quit guitar because of this. You're going to be playing F chords and C7 chords. They go together like bread and butter, and you really do have to know how to do them. So let's take a brief review. If you take your E chord, it's the greatest thing in the world. Well, the second greatest thing. The greatest thing is E minor, right? That's the best thing ever. E is a major, a very close second. Okay. Now make your E chord, but use middle, ring, and pinky instead. So you're still making your E chord. It just makes this finger free. Okay, you got your E chord. And then you're going to slide it. These 2 guys, slide those 3 fingers. You're going to slide everybody up 1 fret, and you're going to put your bar in. And this is probably what's going to come out of your guitar. Okay? And and that's fine. Let that be how you do your F chord for now. We got to get our posture in really good shape to make good F chords. We have to get our hands super strong, and so there's going to come a day when this comes out of your guitar, but when you first start, that's what it's going to sound like, right? You'll get some of them and not others, and it's going to be that way for a while, and so you just let that be that way. Now, here's why it doesn't matter. If I get all of them wrong, 1, 2, 3, 4, fly in the buttermilk, shoo, fly, shoo, fly in the buttermilk, shoo, fly, shoo, fly in the buttermilk, shoo, fly, shoo. Up, skip to my Loo, my darling. So it sounds pretty cool even if you get it wrong. So just let your F chord be what it is. Your long-term goal, full bar, E shape in front of that full bar. That's what you're after. Okay, we'll go through it a few times. Now this song's nice because you get to play 4 measures of F, then 4 measures of C7, and then 4 measures of F, 2 measures of C7, and 2 measures of F. So you get to be on it for a little while. Okay, and so once you get it on, and when I started working on F chord, I put it on and get it as best I could, and then I would play for a while, right? So let's get it on. Don't worry if you have dead strings. You're going to have dead strings when you first get F chord in there. They do go away, okay? All right, when your hand is strong enough. 1, 2, 3. Let's do it a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. C chord. Put your C chord on first, then add your pinky on 3rd string, 3rd fret. Play that. Ready, go. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. Back to F chord. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. 2, 3, 4. Skip to my Loo, my darling. Go back to the top. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. 2, 3, 4. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. Back to F. Fly in the buttermilk, shoot, fly, shoot. Flip to my Loo, my darling. One last time. So many versions, but this will have to do. So many versions, but this will have to do. So many versions, but this will have to do. Skip to my Loo, my darling. So da 2, 3, 4, Lin 2, 3, 4. I think I probably have. I think I've probably been singing it with 2 half notes. Skip to my Loo, skip to my Loo, my da 2, 3, 4, Ling 2, 3, 4. So I've probably been doing that one too fast, but you get the idea. F chord. A lot of people just give up on guitar when they get to F chord because they think it's supposed to sound like this. When you first start F chord, it's supposed to sound like that. Right? You get the top bottom one. Just be patient with yourself. Know how to get it on. Get it on as best you can, and then squeeze like heck. And one of these days you get lucky at it. But I spent many years working on my F chord. Still got a little bit of work to do on it as everything. And just be patient. That was cool. So just be patient with yourself and accept the fact that lots of pros would do that, right? They'll just do it as a rhythmic idea rather than a chordal idea. And of course, as you get into higher level music in books 3 and 4, F's going to start sneaking in there. And C7, which I think is harder than F, comes in. And they're going to be hanging out a lot. Most songs, I don't think I put any songs in book 3 in the key of F. So it's unlikely you'll find an F and a C7 in any of the songs hanging out together, but you will find C7s and you will find Fs, and then eventually in book 4 I may have something in the key of F. I don't remember, but you tend to avoid keys that are a little more unfriendly on guitar. F is a very unfriendly key on guitar, but because other instruments you play with, notably many orchestral instruments, the piano, F is a normal key on the piano, and so it does come up quite a bit, and you just want to be working in that direction of having your F chord come together. Gary's rocking out over here. I'm rocking out on Skip to My Loo. Mostly I'm rocking out on the fact that my suction cup here is not doing its job and making me sad. All right, there. Skip to My Loo. Let's play the melody. Make sure you know how to do that. One of the things with Skip to My Loo, you are in first position, right? Because you see the 1 down there. But it gives you a chance to play a few other notes that we don't run into quite as much. So let's try it. 2 on the 3rd string. 1. My 5th string is always my dead string. Drives me crazy. Yep, I agree, Nancy. And think about that. Why that is, right? You get your bar on. Okay. Now, for me, my bar, the dead part of my bar is going to be right between my 2 knuckles here. This little thing of fur, this little thing of skin here, is not going to, because my knuckles are growing. I get a dead sound there. That's just the bar. But I get lucky because most bar chords, you're going to put some fingers in front of it, right? So I put my middle finger down, my ring finger down, my pinky finger down. Now I've covered up this dead spot on my bar. I'm like, sweet, okay. But your 5th string, look how far away your ring, look at what's happening here. Your ring fingers here, goes all the way down to this, what amounts to pretty heavy duty muscle contraction here, and then coming back up over here. My thumb is really, really tight right now. Now, ultimately, you're going to be able to play without using your thumb at all. Okay, my thumb's hanging out over here. But to do that, of course, I'm pushing up against the guitar pretty solid and pulling back on my whole arm here. Kind of a fun thing. Taking a peek at the 6 strings gang lesson. We're talking about F chord right at the moment, and it makes everybody just miserable. It's and you guys know, those of you who are ukulele players, this is B flat. And remember how much you hated B flat? Well, F chord is that chord with 2 extra strings. Okay, so I can do it without my thumb, but that's not how you start. You're going to be squeezing pretty daggone hard, and in all the literature says don't teach them to squeeze hard, and you're like, in the beginning you have to. You don't have a choice. As people who are fully competent on guitar saying, teach them not to squeeze very hard. That's because they have a really strong muscle here. It's fully developed, and once it's fully developed, you really don't have to squeeze that hard. But when you're brand new, man, you gotta squeeze the dickens out of your guitar and let it be that. Okay, until it happens, and it happens one day. That's your F chord. All right. Yeah. So Nancy, I get it. Your 5th string's the buzzy one, right? For me, I have a tendency to that 6th string because I get lazy and I don't push my bar down clean on that top. Couple of thoughts about bars. I have seen lots of guys who will bend their fingers just a little bit like this, and then I have also, as you are practicing your bar and you're trying to get it clean, try putting it right on top of the fret wire and then rolling it back. The other thing is try putting it a little bit in the middle and rolling it forward. Both of those possibilities help you. Don't be shy about trying to push your bar up a little bit higher or pulling it down a little bit lower. Either of those works out pretty well. And I think eventually you find your way where it goes the best. and then you stick with it for a while. But then, of course, as you'll hit your hand and it gets caught in the car door or something, you end up having to adjust this over your lifetime a little bit. And so that's what you're working on. Don't get too discouraged by F chord. As I always say in ukulele, don't get too sad about this chord. We have way harder chords coming up. And when you get to book 4, I'm thinking most notably when we did Remember Me from the Disney movie Coco. I mean, the chord shapes on that were just like, I would have loved to have a plain old F chord in that song, because the chord shapes were crazy, wacky, all over the place, really hurt my pinky, that sort of thing. And so don't get too discouraged by your bar chords. They are what they are right now. They do get better, okay? As long as you keep showing up and keep working at it, one day it comes in. And then that day goes away, and you work on it some more, and then another day comes in. Okay, so patience on the F chord. C7, equally difficult. You put your C chord on, which for me is the hard chord on guitar, and then you add your pinky there. I think, right, sounds like that. Let's play the melody of this real quick. This is not a melody that I'm particularly, this is not a song I particularly love, but I do want you to have these two. I set it up as the F and C because it's kind of short, and it gives you a chance to play for a while. Yeah, rolling onto and off of the frets is, I think most of the time when people are fighting their bar chord, most of the time it's because they're fighting the bar, right? And so pushing it up, pushing it down, rolling it back, and rolling it forward, those are your choices often to get your bar a little cleaner. Okay, melody, let's get it done. 1, 2, faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I think I'm playing those as half notes instead of whole notes, and so just yell at me later. All right, so the nothing to the melody. The melody's nothing. So then let's talk about the tough acts. Okay, when you have incredibly difficult chords, that means that the tough acts is also going to be incredibly difficult, but there are some simplification solutions, and I'll show you those in just a second. But first, put your F chord on, and then play 3, 3, 2. That's your strings 5, 4, and 3. Play those. And then a couple of 2s. And now you have 2 3s. You're still holding the chord. Nothing's changed. And again, measure 3. Nothing changes. And then at measure 4, this is why you have to have the full F chord on. You're going to play 3, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's what's kind of cool about that. This gives you a chance to get your F chord on, hold it, don't move anything. You don't have to move a single finger on it, and it just gives you a chance to try to get your notes clean. Okay, so the idea with this arrangement is put your F chord on, squeeze like heck, and try to get all your notes clean. Okay, that's what you're trying to do. Next, measure 5. Says C7, but don't put your pinky down yet because the melody's gonna, so just get it ready to be put down. You've got a regular C chord when you factor in the melody, so let's play for measure 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now here's where you put that pinky down. Okay, so on that section there, you're just putting your C chord on. You don't need the pinky until measure 8, so you'll put it on and leave it on. Okay, then we go back over to measure 9, same thing, put your F chord on. We're not going to move it at all through the next 4 measures. Go. Okay, and then measure. Now this gets a little messy here, okay? Measure 13, you put your C chord on. Okay, now you have a 2, and you're going to have to move your middle finger down to get it. ring finger is going to drop down and get the 3. Okay, and then you have 2, 2, 3. All right. So pull your index finger up to the 2 and put your ring finger on the top. Okay. And in fact, I'm trying to think of what song I recently did after the classical program. I had to do just that exact thing. Pull my index finger up, put this on here. Now notice what you're holding here is a nothing chord. Even if we take it back here, it's not a chord that we would recognize. But that's actually the chord you're using here, because the melody's causing some problems there. Then you lift up your middle finger, and then back to your F chord. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Let's play it one time through, and then, like I say, this is one of those things. This is, even though it's a dumb song, the technique in here is essential for your long-term success. Okay, give it a try. One. From the top, just one time through. 1, 2, 3, 4. C chord. There's your pinky. Back to your F chord. Your C chord, middle finger down, ring finger down, index finger up, ring finger to the top, lift up your middle finger, F chord. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, and then you play the whole thing again. Yeah, so this was a dance song, right? And from, who knows, that is an old song, 1820s. Okay, playing the hits from the 1820, or you could say from the 2020s, right? From the 20s. This is a #1 hit from the 20s. So very old-fashioned. You're supposed to dance to it. I lost my partner. Oh, what'll I do? And then this third verse is, I'll get another one prettier than you, which is super hilarious. Think about that. That somebody wrote that. And yeah, and to wrap up, obviously at the end of the song, it gives you a chance to get them all clean. All right, so there's your F chord. It's a bummer, right? Hey, let's go take a look at the new arrangement today. It's not new to some of you. Some of you guys are doing other classes with me, but let's go grab the this little light of mine. Just rewrote it last night for guitar. Not that different from Baritone Ukulele, so those of you guys who've been working with me on that, you will notice a lot of similarities. You just have extra strings. This is a bit jazzier version. I grew up in a pretty far right-wing Protestant tradition, and not pretty far, like crazy right-wing Protestant tradition. And we learned to sing this little light of mine every year in Vacation Bible School in the summertime. That version was a lot more, was a little bit different than this one. This one's got a little bit more jazz feeling to it. You got this minor seventh in there, and the melody is a little more sophisticated than the one I learned as a little boy. Okay, let's give it a try. Grab your G chord. Let's just play through the tough accents. We're a little tight on time. I want to make sure to get to everything. G chord, ring finger on 3. Play that. And then O3. 7 and put your pinky up on the 3. And that sound cool? Very jazzy. Slide up to the 5 and then come back to the G chord. Okay, and then for your next G, because you're all the way up the neck, right? You just play the bottom 4 strings. Hit the 5 and then back to your G chord. Switch to a C chord. Use your pinky to get the 3s. Slide up to the 5. Slide back to the 3. Put your C chord back on. regular G chord here. A minor 7th with your pinky. So a little bit more sophisticated feeling than the usual one. Okay, measure 9. Don't talk about B chord in guitar often because I usually try to arrange around it. But normally with B chord, you're going to play you got your A chord. Okay. But we're going to use the other 3 fingers, so middle ring and pinky. There's an A chord. We slide it up 2 and add your index on the 2nd fret of the 1st string. Now that's what we usually play as a B chord in guitar. Okay. Which is fine. The problem is, in this situation, your melody note's right here. Okay, so now we have to go full on ukulele. Okay, so you're going to put a bar on 4. Okay, and pretend these top 2 strings don't exist, and then put your pinky up on 7, and now you have a very lovely B chord that's actually fairly easy to play. You got to get your bar on. Switch it out to your middle finger for the 5. Okay, so when we come back and play it, you'll hear it absolutely makes sense to do that B that way. And then jump all the way down to your A minor 7th and your pinky again. Okay, I put a little carrot over this one because it's the same exact chord, same exact note. So hit this, let it a little bit harder than you would shine. 8, 7. This is your bar, your A7 bar further up the neck. So you're just going to put a bar on 5 and your middle finger on the 6th of the 3rd string. You can hit your open 5th string. Okay, sounds kind of cool and jazzy a little bit. Hit the 7 and the 5. And then a G chord. And then we're going to go hit the high D7. So that's 5. These 2 fingers on 5 and your ring finger or pinky finger up here on 7. And you can feel the turnaround. Okay, let's go back to the top. Ready? Play. And G chord to wrap it up. Okay, isn't that a pretty song? Again, just change the melody a tiny bit and change the chords to a little bit more interesting set of chords, and you've got this. You can absolutely get away with this song just plain old chords. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. And then you go to the C chord of this little light of mine. Back to G, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine. And you do the high B. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Right, so you can totally just ignore all of the fancy stuff here and play regular old chords, and it'll work just fine. But I'm giving you a little bit more sophisticated arrangement of this. Yeah, and it really is, and Nancy says it's beautiful. Yeah, it is beautiful, right? We just to put a touch of jazz into it, not too much. And you've got this. This, of course, started off doing the research on it. They have no idea where this song came from. And the guy that's traditionally been credited with writing it said, nope, it's not mine. I didn't do it. So we have no idea where it came from. But I'm suspecting the guy that they think credited for it write it. And he's just not. He probably heard it somewhere and actually, wrote it down. But so he never claimed authorship. So this song gets used quite a bit in a lot of different things, and a really good one to have. All right, I was hoping to have a little bit of time to go over the classical piece today, but we ran out of time, so I'll try to go a little faster tomorrow to get us one more shot at that before Friday. And then of anything, the big takeaway today is F chord, right? I mean, absolutely. Be patient with yourself, make it sound as best you can, and accept the fact that it's going to sound terrible probably for years before it actually comes around. Let's see, I'm 5 years into teaching seriously on guitar. I messed around with it most of my life, but not very seriously, and of course didn't play a single F chord. And about 5 years ago, I started teaching this style of guitar, and I had to come to terms with the F chord. It's probably last year when I got where it was pretty reliable, So it does take a while, and just be aware that this sound is a perfectly fine F chord when you're getting going. So, all right, this little light of mine, I like the arrangement. This could be a fun one for you to turn into something, and so that's that. That'll be us for today. Tomorrow will be the next to last 10 a.m. class. We will be playing Three Blind Mice, of course. The More We Get Together. I always think of The More We Get Together as a British tune. It's kind of fun to play. And then Trumpet Voluntary. Not a lot of people are aware of Trumpet Voluntary until you play it, and then you're like, oh yeah, I think I've heard that somewhere before. Used to be a fairly popular wedding tune. And of course nobody plays it today because it feels too old-fashioned. But I want to, as you pull that one up, take a look at make sure you feel like you're the Prince of Denmark and you're being very formal and very, very elegant, and it makes you sound kind of good. No Thursday night class this week. I got my legendary board meeting, so there won't be a Thursday night class this week. God willing and the creek don't rise, I'll have a couple of new pieces for you on the following Tuesday when we move Guitar Orchestra to Tuesday. And then you guys are putting on your calendar starting next week, we're going to get rid of this 10 a.m. class. We're going to cram everything into Wednesday nights for instruction, and then 5 p.m. will be the good time. 5 p.m. daily Mountain Time will be our daily just all instrument get together. So we're going to have harmonicas, ukuleles, and guitars all at the same time. So the sheet music will have all three of those voices on there, which means you can also sing, you can also play piano, you can also bring a violin, whatever other instruments you want to mess around with, and hopefully, give you an opportunity to play whatever you want to play in different ways on that 5 o'clock hour. So that's the plan. I hope that these gave you something to work on today, and I will see all y'all tomorrow, and we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Elizabeth, thanks for being here. Nancy, who else was here today? Ukulele Learning, good to see you, bud. And you guys have a wonderful day. And hit this button before you head out if you're logged in. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Peace.